resume in the second half. That's a point worth watching. But both tries were beautifully scored, and they were the only two attacks. We can, in fact, look at the second try, which was made by Ian Jeffrey and Basilake for Paul Topping.
Well, as the ball is moved wide here, John Woods takes it midfield. Early distribution to Ian Jeffrey, and an even earlier, if you like, pass to Basilake on this left wing. Here's the beautiful distribution and the work rate of Ian Jeffrey supporting his winger. Now, he's got the line in front of him. He's not quick enough to get away from the cover, but a one-handed inside ball, which has really upset David Maiko. And Paul Topping, the Leigh captain, strides over.
It's a great try, and Paul Topping, not long afterwards, was turning up in the right centre position. A good buy, really, from Swinton, Paul Topping. He always has been a good
player,
fullback.
Defensively very good. He's got deceptive pace. He's quite a big boy. He's powerful. And he's often seems to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes, as the captain of the side, during that unfortunate Leigh dispute last year when they were not being paid their wages and they almost went out of existence, it was interesting. We're getting away. Come on, Alan, little girl there, giving you away. She's enjoying us. We're talking about Paul Topping, and a young lady like that giving us away. What were we going on about? Yes, Paul Topping. He was a player spokesman in that all the time. Very, very cool man, very sensible man. I think a good choice for captain.
Good choice of captain, and a fullback, of course, cool under pressure. I mean, that's one of the keynotes in the personality maker. He's very rarely upset by things. He's very good defensively under the high ball, and as we've seen today, great support player as well from the back.
I suppose we've criticised the Eagles attacking for dropping the ball, but equally we must pay tribute to the Leigh defence. They've done some great tackling near their own line.
Yeah, Sheffield use a lot of face balls, they miss a player out and then support on the outside. And I think they've just been a little bit flat, and Leigh have moved up very quickly, and that's upset their rhythm somewhat. We saw them at Ryder York, and they scored two very good tries through just missing one man out. But Leigh's defence, they've worked very, very hard. Obviously, Kevin Ashcroft has been working on that in training, and it's a much better defensive side today than the one we saw at Oldham.
I think, Alan, you may agree with this, that we've not seen the last of Sheffield yet. I'm sure Gary Hetherington's going to say exactly what you've been saying. Look, cool it down, think a bit more, spread out wide, a little deeper, and don't snatch at the ball. And there's still time for Eagles, if they put their passes together, to get back into this game.
Well, we've seen the build-up, we just haven't seen the finish. They're good players. Aston, Close and Powell, the three top-class players. They're really three first-division side players. And if they can get their act together and get their runners wide out, catching the ball for starters, running a bit deeper, as we've said, from depth, then Leigh may well be struggling this second half. But they have got that slight slope, and it will be in Leigh's favour. There's no real wind today, but there's a slight slope which will affect the kicking somewhat.
We can look now at the first Leigh try, Simon Booth.
Well, the play had gone to the left-hand side, two plays from the penalty, and it's John Wood swinging a left-handed sprint pack. You see the gaps in the Sheffield defence, so they've been dragged across to their right-hand side. A bit of crossfield running here, but it's Simon Booth who straightens it up, coming in off his right leg, and just getting away from the cover. The cover was there, but it was a little bit disjointed. There were too many big gaps. Took the try well, Simon Booth, but it was well executed by Leigh. Two plays to the left, and then a quick ball to the right-hand side. The overlap was there.
Some very happy Leigh fans, and yet another youngster. Nice to see the youngsters being brought along, emphasising the fact that rugby league is a family sport.
Well, Leigh's always been a hotbed of rugby league and a family game. No doubt they'll be popping around to Kevin's pub later.
Well, he insisted it's his wife's pub. Whenever you say, how's your pub, Kevin, he always says it's the wife's pub. I think he's absolutely, obsessed with Leigh rugby at the moment. He's happy enough to let Mrs. Ashcroft look after Bubbers. Sheffield come out for the second half with the words of Gary Hetherington no doubt ring in their ears.
Interesting thing there, Keith, that Mark Aston came and led the side out. And no doubt about it, when he's on the field, he's the organiser. And if David Close is going to go out to number 6, then perhaps we're going to see more of Mark Aston.
Darrell Fowle was the man, of course, who's made captain and is captain. There's Mark Aston, and as you say, as soon as he came on, the distribution did get a little better. Out come Leigh, led by Paul Topping, holding on to this 10 points to 2 lead. a victory vital for both these sides. In some respects, it's almost heartbreaking that you have a side like Sheffield Eagles desperate to establish their game in South Yorkshire. You have a side like Leigh desperate to survive. It's, you know, one sympathies with both.
Well, Rugby League is on a little bit of a high at national level, and obviously we've got the World Cup to look forward to. But sides are still struggling, Pete, financially lower down.
David Close to kick off. Eagles 2-10 down. More topping. Leigh inside their own 22. And you can hear the coaches shouting instructions to their players on our FX microphones.
We heard the word downtown there, Keith, which is the code really for the kick downfield. But they were given a bit of a gift there as Sheffield caught themselves offside.
Well, Simon Bowles may have had attention, but he's certainly back on the field again, which is relief for Leigh. There's big Lee Hansen, who's had the ball knocked out of his grasp a couple of times, but certainly runs his way, and boots flying there. Hugh Waddell not at all happy about that. He got a face full of studs then. Here's Woods again, and well watched. Just inside the Sheffield half, and this precious 10 points to 2 lead, but of course with a converted try, 6 points could soon narrow the gap. Oh, what a beautiful pass by Paul Topping. Splendid stuff by Leigh. They've had a talking to well from Kevin Ashcroft. Woods, Topping, Shield, and it's the handover, but that was pretty electrifying stuff from Leigh.
Good rugby. Paul Topping's pass was a superb piece of distribution which led to the run by Hazel, who's forward down this right hand side. But perhaps Mark Shields was in the wrong position there, the number 8 standing wide out. We could have perhaps done with a centre or somebody with a bit more pace, because the gap was on, even though it was the last tackle, but Sheffield just covering in time.
And the young Mark Aston. Boo. He's lost it. Opportunity for Eagles, trailing by 10 points. Oh dear me, almost lost that guy. David Blanche hasn't had many passes, and as Rocker too he has had. Aston. Close. That's a high tackle. Not much doubt about it.
It certainly looks high from here, Keith, as Sheffield were moving the ball wide. And in fact, Leigh have been guilty of it on a couple of occasions, which they've got away with.
No doubt about it at all. The crowd giving a slow hand clap, but a real clothesliner. But up gets Ian Hughes, and a chance for David Close. Or is Mark Aston taking over? Let's have it. No, it's David Close. Gets the chance again. He's kicked 1 out of 3 so far. This could be 2 out of 4. Would make it 10-4. Well, what a back kick. Has to be said, Alan, that was a poor kick and could be a vital one.
Well, he's hit one ball out of the 4 well, and that's the one he kicked over, but really struck 3 rather badly.
Well, perhaps Mark Aston might be pressed into service if any more kicks come. Mark Gamson is on a sub for Richard Pixley. Again. But I thought Andy Young would let that slip. Little dummy by Mark Gamson and Mark Aston. McCook. Sheffield, as they did for most of the first half, on the final tackle, attacking. Short ball to Broadbent. Broadbent getting out to Powell. There's the kick. But that'll be easy for Paul Topping. 5 minutes into the second half.
That was rather a poor kick from Darryl Powell. A bit of pressure on Paul Topping was what Sheffield wanted, but he really kicked the ball very badly.
Moved out by Donahue to Shields. Again inside the Leigh 22, but how well they've protected their line. Sheffield still to cross. Leigh have got 2 tries. Andy Rowan always ready to kick. And what a good one. Saves an awful lot of forward slogging. From one 22 to the other.
Very good kicker, Andy Rowan, of course. When he was at Oldham, he used that left foot of his, punching it down the touchline. And a good example of how to get your side away into the opponent's half.
Mark Aston feeding. David Close operating at standoff. Aston again. Well smothered by Jason Donahue. He led the way in tackling. What else? What a strong forward he is. Cook. Gamson. And Aston. Broadbent. Aston's ready to take the ball again, but it's given to Powell. Now to Aston. Forward, says the referee. Still the errors being made in attack by Sheffield Eagles.
Well, Mark Aston, of course, has been out of the game for some time. Perhaps his timing is just a little bit off at the moment, but that was a pretty sloppy pass down to this left wing.
A kick to touch. Charleston on the ball. Mark Aston will pump it into touch. Now Eagles with a chance to run it, Alan. So often we've seen this, so often we've seen the ball drop.
Well, they're going to set it up. There's a set play. It's one drive in and then some organisation wide out. Looks like a second drive.
Cook getting away to Close. But the Leigh defence up to smother Andy Young and drive him back. Going the short side, Darryl Powell. Oh, he broke 2 tackles, but still the cover's there.
Great defence from Leigh, Keith.
Powell floats the long one over, Maiko's up. And again it's dropped. And honestly, one wonders where this nightmare's going to end for Eagles.
Well, I'm sure Gary Henderson would want to know when it ends. And it may well, but it's going to be right throughout the game because nothing seems to be going right for Sheffield whatsoever. All credit to Leigh's defence there. They really were under the hammer, but they came out on top, but they've lost it again by the looks of it.
So many errors on both sides, but the more dangerous ones being committed up to now by Eagles on attack. But at least they have the feed and should get possession now. Can they make sure this time? David Maiko up in attack, but again well tackled by this excellent Leigh defence. Powell. Cook. Close is acting half-back. Waddell, ever the powerful drive towards the posts. Setting up the running chance. Broadbent. Just 5 metres out. The Leigh defence yet again under pressure. Men moving both ways. It's Close. Trying to wriggle through. Broadbent, this is the last one. The clip, and this is going to be, well, it was almost lost, but what he's given 6 more.
Well, I thought that was deliberately charged down, Keith, so I think the referee's quite right there, though obviously the Leigh public don't think so.
Close. Well, Sheffield have never had a better chance. There are men joining in, and David Plange, very unprofessional there, off the ball, and Broadbent's in. We'll talk about Plange in a moment, but Broadbent is in. That brings Sheffield Eagles back in. Broadbent plows over.
Fairly straightforward in the end, and there's Aston. Good distribution. Broadbent's a big, strong boy, 3 tacklers there, but just manages to reach over. And I suppose that if Sheffield hadn't scored, then they weren't ever likely to score in this game, because they'd had the gift of the kick being charged down and back to 1. So they had a set of 12 tackles, basically.
And while this goal's being kicked, the comment about David Plange was, had the ball been moved out left, he wouldn't have been there, because he rushed into the centre of the field to separate 2 players who were fighting, which is an admirable thought, but he was needed on the left. In the event he wasn't, and Aston has indeed taken over from David Close. Well, it's neat, but it matters. It's 10-8, and it's anything to play for. Paul Broadbent, the scorer.
Well, have a look at this try. There is Aston involved. Good distribution here. Broadbent, timing very good there as he took that ball. He was going at full steam, and just too strong there for the Leigh defenders.
Suddenly it becomes close. Sheffield Eagles, who flattered to deceive so often, have dropped the ball so often, have finally scored a try, and now it's anybody's game. Sheffield Eagles now a little more fight, a little more spirit. They realise they're in with a chance of winning. Eagles 10-8 down. Close. Whips it out to Aston. To Darryl Powell. Good pass. Oh, what a nice dummy. Maiko's up there. Is he going to touch? Released and picked up by Jeffrey, and the struggle goes on over the touchline. But it wasn't David Maiko. It's
Mark Aston at that right wing, Keith, but there was a great cover tackle from Paul Topping. Cut that move out, and Aston was going into touch and flung it down. Of course, Ian Jeffrey picked it up and then made the mistake.
Mr. Whiteland awards a penalty at the scrum to Leigh, to the delight of the crowd, and a little ironic cheering. Well, it's 10-8 to Leigh, so it's very, very close.
So Powell, of course, flinging out well-timed pass out to Mark Gamson, who's substituted on that right wing. And then Gamson, a good piece of distribution here. There's Aston in the gap. But Topping gets hold of him. Good tackle from him, and he's pushing him into touch. Aston decides, therefore, I better let go of the ball, and it's Jeffrey who picks it up.
Leigh inside their own half. And Darryl Powell and Jason Donoghue had a little altercation then off the ball. Got a feeling. Back to the match of this importance. Foot over the byline. Some of the Leigh fans attempting to tell the referee it hadn't gone there. Bit of head-high tackling there. That's a smashing break. What a break! Richard Price almost caught the defence napping. Played the ball to himself. Now Eagles in full cry to get in front. Aston floats it out. Well taken that time. But the pass wasn't a particularly good one. Aston. Close. Young. Closest kick. And Simon Gould lets it go there, but there's a lot more purpose in the Eagles' play now.
That was a great break from Richard Price, a quick taking from him. He played the ball to himself. I just felt that last kick of David Close's could have reaped a bit more benefit because there was really nobody chasing. So communication not quite right on the field there.
Mark Shields. Desperately close now. 10, Sheffield Eagles, 8.
John Whiteland didn't see the incident. He looked at both coaches. He got no confirmation from them about what happened. So he wanted the scrum. Mark Shields obviously didn't like it. And he's given a penalty for talking.
And it gives Mark Aston the opportunity to tie the score. Kevin Ashcroft going spare.
Remember it's Sunday, Kevin.
What a vital kick this is by Mark Aston. He's taken over from David Close. It's 1-4. Aston has already kicked one. This would level the score to 10-all. It isn't going to. It's a back kick. So apart from the mishandling, it could well be that Eagles will regret poor place kicking.
4 missed goals, Peter.
3 by David Close, 1 now by the substitute Mark Aston. Leigh desperate to get away from their own line. Eagles, since that try by Paul Broadbent, have been in full cry. Shields getting away for his verbal aberration. Getting the talking to.
O'Donoghue takes the ball from acting halfback and then a little chip over the top. And does he run in or was he late tackle? Well, that's 50-50.
It's always again the argument. Can a player just disappear off the face of the earth? And I think Kevin is going to get a little ticking off. The Leigh coach, after the intervention of the touch judge, who's probably had the rough end of Kevin's tongue.
I would think so there. There's a bit of a smile on the face of Dennis Ramsdale by the side of Kevin Ashcroft, but Kevin's very intense, and I'm sure he may well have said 1 or 2 things that perhaps he didn't really mean.
This could make it 12-8 now. Surely he'll take a kick at goal. Johnny Woods might take this. No, yes, got to. And it's John Woods who's taking this kick. Certainly won't take the call ahead. And if I remember Johnny Woods, Alan, he doesn't normally waste much time.
Oh no, John will place the ball down and bang it. I mean, it could well go straight between the posts. He's been a prolific point scorer in the past. But I was surprised because I thought Paul Coppin might have taken the kick.
Woods takes over, weighs up the post, hits it. No trouble. Hilton to David Close and Mark Aston.
Well, John is a natural striker of the ball. That was a superb piece of timing, that kick. You could hear that gentle clunk as the foot hit the ball. It's
Your hearing's better than mine. I didn't hear a gentle clunk. Alan, what incredible hearing you have. I'd say that clunk certainly clicked as far as Leigh are concerned as they go into a 12-8 lead. But what a fierce match this is. What a confrontation.
There's a lot of endeavour on both sides. It's been spoiled obviously by mishandling and a little bit of bad feeling that's just crept in the last few moments, but still very, very close and very tight indeed. Still anybody's game, this piece.
There's the downtown. Nicely taken by Michael. And he loves open field running, but got no opportunity then. From Jason Donahue again, first into the tackle. Flange.
I think that's only the second time that David Funge has actually got the ball in his hands securely in this match.
Richard Price. Still a game that could go either way. Leigh have their noses in front, 12 points to 8. Coming up the halfway stage in this second half, so plenty of time left. Rough but not illegal treatment of Darryl Powell, and he's not happy about it. Speaking of and then the cameras went on towards him.
Certainly unceremoniously done by John Woods, and then John standing over the top of him, and obviously John Woods...
Yes, there's no way John Woods could have got off him then. And as a result of that, words were exchanged. Eagles get the benefit of the penalty. Cook. Aston, short ball and good tackle. Andy Lorraine, the man who got 2 good tackles. Ball backwards, says Mr. Whiten. Yes, he did drop it, but backwards. Cook. Aston, the little chip over. Topping yet again up in the line. Got rid of that well to Jeffrey over the 22. Tremendous action here at Hilton Park. Over the Sheffield 22. Wayne Woods straightens up. Powell brings him down. Potter up to the 22. Well, there are men round to take a drop goal if nothing else comes. There's Shields. Woods, of course, a drop goal expert. And Ruane also taking up a possible position. And instead, it's Andy Ruane who puts it over. The drop goal always on, Alan.
Well, that was well set up by Leigh. They'd made this drive with that Jason Donahue run down the right-hand side and then built up to the 6th tackle. Mark Shields plays the ball quickly. Ruane looking right, and that magic left foot of his, a bit of clunk click, and it's over. And look at it from behind the post. There's Ruane looking right. There is Andrew Young trying to block it. Oh, that's... good one-pointer there for Leigh.
13-8. And Leigh, after being pulled back from 10-2 to 10-8, easing their way ahead again. Ruane, who's dropped goal, stretched it to 13-8. Not quite getting the angle right, but gaining ground yet again with a kick. There's David Michael. What excellent! Johnny Hill got some marvellous cover tackling this afternoon.
His work rate in defence has been superb. His organisation perhaps is not quite 100% yet, but he's still a young player. Good work rate and tackling, tremendous.
We've quarter of an hour left. 13-8 to Leigh. Waddell. Jason Donahue. Always up in support of the kicks as Eagles go forward. Oh, close drop that. Yet another handling error by Eagles. Really, Gary Hetherington, although not as volatile as Kevin Ashcroft, must also be thinking some unprintable thoughts about his side.
Yes, the saga's gone on, Keith, although they got that try after 11 minutes through Paul Broadbent in this second half. They really have flattered to deceive.
It's Leigh now, driving forward again with Donahue, Hanson. There's another drop, long range one, by Topping. Just wide, and that will be a drop back from under the post. David Michael fielded it and stepped over the touching goal line. Back over the dead ball line.
That was a great effort from Paul Topping, and just missing that right-hand post. He's under a bit of pressure there, but I thought that David Marco had taken this ball behind his own goal line, in the goal area, and therefore would have been a tap on the 22, but obviously referees decided otherwise.
Topping. He may have decided that catching the ball and stepping over the dead ball line were one of the same movement, Alan. However, the referee is right, his decision is final, and Leigh are set up for another attack, looking for a clinching try. Shields. Enormous support from this Leigh crowd, they're making a lot of noise. Donahue, Woods dropped it behind him, and well, not an easy game for Mr. Whiteland this afternoon at all. He's had a lot of rather more painful decisions to make than most referees, a lot of 50-50 decisions.
Yes, he's kept control pretty well, actually, Keith. It's not been a nasty game, really. One or two high tackles, but one or two difficult situations for him to make decisions over.
Yes, as we've said many times, referees don't have the advantage of looking at action replay and thinking about it. They have to make instant decisions. Put out to Cook by Waddell. And although Leigh lead by 13 points to 8, they'll know well enough that trying a goal now would put Eagles in front. Aston moving it out. The Leigh crowd yelling forward. Mr. Whiteland doesn't agree. Ian Hughes up to the halfway line, but the tackles, of course, running away. Aston, not particularly good pass, but what a good break by Close, and a nice pass. Powell running into Hanson. And the penalty.
Well, that was a great cover from Hanson, but then it was spoilt by David Ruane coming in, and Darryl Powell really felt the effect of that. Here we see Powell taking the ball. Good cover from Hanson, and then Ruane fires in now, and that's high.
Now the interesting thing now is whether the option is to kick at goal and get 2 points, or kick deep and run it for 6.
Well, Powell's not looking too good there. He's actually prostrate on the ground, and they decide to go for the 6.
Cook. Waddell inevitably. Always takes it up, always gets beyond the gain line, yet again. David Close and Mick Cook almost there, a metre out, but the defence holding well. Intricate move, no, it might have done well to release that ball, tried to burrow through. Again, the Leigh defence holding. Tackles running out. Ian Hughes, he's lost it. That's the end of one more attack. One more ball spilled near the line.
Very poor play by Sheffield, Keith. 4 drives it was, basically, and then they lost that one. Good defence by Leigh, but no real organisation.
Good job of defending, but Eagles have made their task a little easier by losing possession just as they did then. Really, it was 4 one-man drives and then lost possession, which is very important. Darryl Parr was badly shaken up by that tackle by David Ray. Well, that ball bounced into touch for a moment. It looks as if it wasn't going to, but it'll be head and ball to anyway.
Substitution for Sheffield Eagles. Number 11, Dale Lawton, returns in place of Darryl Powell. Today's attendance, 3064. That's 3,064. We'd like to thank you for coming and supporting the club. Thank you.
64 here. Actually, that's just about subsistence level that they have to pay. They can do it more, and if they continue with this, they'll get them. Ivor Party. Mark Gamson. That's a bad ball again. But the attack continues with Broadbent and with Cook. Now the wingers ready. David Flange. Oh, good running by Flange. David Flange comes good at the end. Missed 2 chances earlier on by not catching the ball, but showed the power that made him a Castleford try scorer and a member of the Great Britain squad. And if the goal is kicked now, Eagles in front, but a difficult kick.
Well, they'd stretch it out to the right-hand side with that run by Gamson down the right wing. This was a sloppy ball, but I think Leigh's defence hesitated. There's a big wide gap on this left-hand side. Broadbent takes it in. Good distribution here. And then in comes Davy Maiko. He's drifting across field, but Flange is in the clear. And he's got the legs on the cover, and of course sidestepping inside at that pace and that size. He's going to go over. Just 1 point the difference.
An absolutely crucial kick this, and interestingly, Alan, it's David Maiko who's taking it.
Well,
we've had David Close and Mark Aston.
Yes, and they've made a mess of things, so Maiko will be in.
He's missed it too, so that's... Oh, it dropped it! It looked as... What an incredible kick! It looked as if it was fading. It hit the upright and dropped in, and Sheffield Eagles creep into the lead.
Well, how you look can change. Sheffield, all that possession in the first half, all that territorial advantage, all those mistakes, and then just one long kick from the touchline. Here's the try again. Bad ball there, but it's well picked up. Broadbent moving it. Maiko gets in the act here. It's his superb pass to Flange which sets the triumph. Flange, full of pace and power, sidesteps the cover from Simon Booth.
Well, that kick was quite a remarkable one by David Maiko. At first, it looked as if it was fading wide of the post. Suddenly it came in, it clipped the upright, and that's the rub of the green, Alan, isn't it? It dropped the right side.
Well, Maiko's had a good game at fullback, and he was involved in the try, and those 2 points could well give Sheffield the 2 points in the lead.
Well, they'll certainly, if they win, go in front of Carlisle. They're playing Crusaders this afternoon for at least 2 hours. But Leigh, so disappointing for them to have led all the way. 10-2 at half-time, then 13-8.
That was a pity there. Good ball, good break from Jason Donoghue. And I think he missed out Hayes there, and that probably would have been the better pass. Donoghue looking for the gap there. Hayes is in support there, but he tries the ambitious longer one, and that was knocked on by David Ray.
Just 5 minutes now for Eagles to hold out. 5 minutes for Leigh to get in front again. Topping. A thrilling finish this. 1 point Eagles lead. 14-13, Andy Ruane. Well, if it gets to 6 tackle, they'll probably go for the drop to tie the scores. David Ruane weaving patterns, letting it go. Jason Donoghue. Potter. Score Leigh 13, Eagles 14. But what a let-off, Alan, for Eagles then, that descent.
Oh, went forward and then came back. And John Whitelaw on the spot, John Whitelaw the referee.
It's still inside the Eagles' half, but Eagles have possession. They were behind. Ooh, what a crack. That really was a solid bang on Andy Young. He really felt it. But Eagles behind until 7 minutes from the end. They've got their noses in front. What a time to go in front. They'll be holding on if they can for 6 tackles. Well, they couldn't hold it for 6 tackles early on. Now they must do a Richard Price. The deep kick, which means that they have to come all the way back again. Simon Gould, who got one of the 2 Leigh first half tries. So heartbreaking for Leigh if they lose this after leading all the way until inside the last 10 minutes. But certainly Eagles have come back well in the second half to score their 2 tries, and it's that David Maiko kick which has made the difference after Close and Aston had missed them. Maiko, beauty from the touchline. Now Basilake. Ian Jeffrey, 3 minutes left. Jason Donoghue. Leigh throwing it about. Hayes topping. Booth. Went behind him, says the referee. Leigh desperate to get to the other end. Eagles win possession. Waddell, Bland. Not a time for careless passes this, it's a time for playing 6 and keeping it tight. 1 point in front, 2 minutes left. Mick Cook. Close. Ian Hughes. Will Eagles go for a drop goal now? Going for another try, Maiko. Rapati to hand over. Now Leigh. Minute and a half to get back to take it from the 22 off the try line. Been a thrilling match, been a marvellous second half. Woods still on the 22. It's a long way to go for tired legs. 30 seconds to go of normal time. Rapati. Ake. Markey. Hansen. Well, they're going inch by inch now, but 6 tackles may not be enough. Donahue. Ruane. David Ruane. Paul Tottenham. Hayes. Simon Moore. Still going. Moore. David Ruane. The last tackle. Is this the last throw of the dice for Leigh? Jason Donahue, Italian kick, underneath it, takes it well. And what a good broken field runner this man is. David Plange getting the try, but the vital score was David Maiko's kick from the touchline. Cook.
Today's Man of the Match award, as selected by Mr. Joe McCall of Redwater Construction, is Leigh fullback Paul Duffy.
Went to injury time, was close kicks. Ball topping. Can Johnny Wood produce a piece of magic to win it for Leigh in injury time? And the back 12 times. It's over. Doctor's gone. Leigh have no time. And Sheffield Eagles have won a dramatic match. David Plange getting the winning try 7 minutes from time, and David Michael hitting the goal via the upright. So what a dramatic game. Leigh 10-2 up half-time. Eagles waving to their fans. They came back to 10-8. Then we had a penalty goal by Woods, a drop goal by Andy Ruane, 13-8. And it looked then just a question of Leigh holding out. But it was Eagles who snatched it at the death and retained their top of the table position.
Once again, we'd like to thank
with a try by Plange and that vital goal under pressure by David Michael, kicking for the first time because David Close and Mark Aston had been missing the earlier ones. Well, down below with Alan McInnes, we have David Maiko and David Plange, the two men who at the end won it for Sheffield Eagles. And Alan McInnes.
David, it's a very hard game. You're not going to get many close on that, are you? No, very hard game. They're all hard games in the second division, like, but that was a close one. We just managed to get through it, and
well, we're having problems with the crowd encroaching and shouting at David Plange and David Maiko. Unfortunately, the police have moved in now to try and restore a bit of order, and it may possibly be that we can go back to Alan McInnes. No, I'm afraid David Maiko and David Plange have decided that under that sort of pressure they can't do interviews, which is a shame, because they were the men who eventually won it for Sheffield Eagles. David Plange going over for a try in the left-hand corner, and David Maiko kicking that pressure goal from the touchline. Well, a remarkable match really, because you have to have sympathy for Leigh and for their coach Kevin Ashcroft, who of course got a bit of a talking to from referee Mr. Whitelam because of his voluble comments. But I think when Leigh led at 10-2 and then at 13-8, I think the Hilton Park fans, 3,000 of them, were expecting victory. But of course Sheffield never gave up, and they began to put their passes together, which was significant. In the first half they'd had a lot of territorial advantage, but they kept spilling the ball near the Leigh line. When they finally did move the ball, they got the 2 tries and eventually won it. Well, we've got plenty of action for you on Sportscast next week. Tomorrow night, live, we have Hunslet, who are one of the surprise point scorers recently against one of the luckless sides struggling very hard at the moment, Trafford Borough. Trafford Borough v Hunslet, live tomorrow on Sportscast. On Tuesday night, it's quiz night at the Birmingham truck stop, the regular Tuesday night quiz at 9:30. Boxing, always boxing on Thursday. Match, the Leigh fans probably didn't at the end, but it really was a great and tight match. Next week, live rugby league, the Yorkshire Cup final at 1 o'clock from Ellen Road, and on Monday night, of course, we'll show you the full Lancashire Cup. So, from Hilton Park, from Alan McInnes, from me and everyone in front of and behind the cameras, goodbye.
Approaches. Who's for the Twin Towers of Wembley? The venue of legends again awaits the Rugby League, and Leeds went through to the second round in Rambo style last week, while the cup holders Wigan looked determined to hold on to their crown when they demolished championship contenders Castleford in midweek. Yes, the game's greatest prize is again up for grabs. April the 27th is a red letter day on the calendar, and today we see two more Wembley hopefuls in the first round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup. Sheffield Eagles is the game's newest club, who've never had a whiff of Wembley, but Featherstone will last there in 1983 when they lifted that famous old trophy. So something's got to give today as our cameras pay a first visit to the multi-million-pound Don Valley Stadium in Sheffield, which has the red carpet out for the B Sky B Rugby League programme and our viewers today. Well, hello there. Yes, it's great to be here at the best appointed ground in Rugby League for a match, of course, that sees two more sides on the road to Wembley. Now, this game really should have been played this time last week until the Siberian weather took its toll, and so the Eagles of Sheffield come face to face with the Rovers of Featherstone. Now, this season for Sheffield, well, it's been a season where they have tried to stave off relegation. They're still in deep trouble. Featherstone, though, as far as they're concerned, they're harbouring hopes of a place in the top four come the end of the season. Let's now take an assessment of the two sides' current form by taking in this report from Peter Hutton.
Featherstone's not much more than a pit village, and the club have been forced to make the most of resources which will always be limited by population. While Sheffield aren't short of population, a big city club but only 6 years old, their lack of traditional support saw them bracketed with Featherstone as relegation candidates last season. And the two sides were proved to be of a similar standing, Sheffield winning at Featherstone in September, but Rovers preventing the double in January in a game played on one of Sheffield's 7 temporary homes. But both sides claimed some notable wins and stayed up, if only just. Featherstone by a point, Sheffield by points difference. The Eagles had looked in danger, but showed the resolve to survive. Despite last season's successes, this year Sheffield are again in relegation contention. Defeat by Leeds, one of 3 losses in 9 games at the new Don Valley Stadium. Only Rochdale have conceded more points at home, and Sheffield's problems haven't just been on the pitch, they've also had to cope with the teething difficulties of a new stadium. Sheffield maintain, though, the lights haven't yet gone out on their hopes of First Division survival. Sheffield are currently 13th, next to bottom in the First Division, a spot they've occupied for 3 months, whilst Featherstone